So this is the smart table. So it's coming from which library? It's coming from sap.ua.com.smartfilter. Copy that, you declare that below. So this is your smart filter bar. And now what we will do? Sorry, I think yes. Yeah. So now just declare this smart table. So this is the smart filter that, smart table that we have to use. So you just provide an ID to smart table. Then you can just provide. So there is one good feature that you can provide within this smart table. So what you can say for this smart table? So this smart table, it will work based on the smart filter bar. So how you can add that? So there is one property, smart filter ID. So within this property, we just have to provide the ID of smart filter bar. So that's how the smart filter bar and your table will be connected with each other. Means if you are going to enter any value within that filter, so automatically that value can be based on that value, your table content can be filtered out. OK, so you don't need to write any JavaScript code for this. You can directly declare that. OK, so we have added smart filter bar now. Sorry, smart filter ID. And after that, we need to add an entity set. So within this entity set, same I'll use the customers because after all, we need to filter out the data based on the customers. And now there is one more property we need to add, enable auto binding and provide it as a true. OK, and then we can add the table type. Table type. So we want this table type as a responsive. So if you go to the properties, there are various properties for this. See? Enable auto binding, enable auto column width, because after all, we need to make this table responsive. So you can check for table type property. OK, so table type. So you can declare various types of table here. Like you can go with analytical table, you can go with responsive tab, you can go with the normal table, you can go with tree table. So all these options are available here. OK, so what type of table we want now? So you can go with, I think this, if you go with this, it's like a UI table, which you can call it as a grid. So we will go with this responsive tab. OK, it is a responsive table after all. So we have to provide that. And let me close that smart filter bar after that. One second, I'll just do the enter and close this. OK, so I think which table we have used? We have used responsive table. So we have to declare sap.m.table ID. So table control we have to declare here. So you can provide a selection change. And then you can use the mode. Like because we have to see the smart form. So we need this mode to be available. And that mode you can add it as single select master. Okay, that's it. OK, so now let's see the output. Let's see what all things we are getting now. It says there are no columns selected for your table. Before you perform the search, make sure that at least one column is made visible. OK, which is right only because we have created the table and there is we cannot see even a single column, which is not good. So if you go to the settings, you can manually add the columns. See, you can manually add the columns. Let's say you need a columns based on company name, city, address, contact name, country, customer ID. You can just press OK now. So once you select once you select all that, and if you say OK, automatically those columns will be available within this table. And after that, now what we need to do, now we need to fetch the data. So that data can be fetched. You just need to press on go. So once you press on go, see, data is available now. So is it easy as compared to the normal controls? How much code we have written to achieve this? Very less, right, Pawan?
Yeah.
Okay, so just writing this much of code, what we have achieved, we have created the entire smart table. Sorry, we have created the smart table, and that also you can change. Means user can customize each and every column. For data also, if you see nothing is working, right? Automatically the data is coming when you press on go. And on top of that, the filters are also there. Let's see if I'm going to filter out any data. Do you think that it will filter out? Can we do that once? I think I'm just going to copy this. See, filter is also working. I've just pasted and you can see the filter is also working. So we haven't written any single line of code in controller.js, in controller.js file for this. Nothing we have written. It is blank entirely. Without that also everything is working without any problem. OK, so that is the power of smart controls. And now on top of that, if you see, you can also export this data. Whatever the data you are able to see here, you can also export this data in Excel. So if you click on this export, so it will download that data. OK, see, it's downloading that data. And see, this is your Excel file, which will have that records of customers. See, this is how handy your smart control is. OK. So as we discuss the smart controls, it is a special category of controls, and it's totally coming from the Fury elements. It's a part of Fury elements only. OK, so now what we need to know now so far what we did manually, we have added all these columns. But let's say you want to add a few columns to be visible, right? So how you can do that? OK, you want that because user will not do this every time, right? Whichever columns he want to see. He want to see certain a few columns and which should be always visible. So if you want to add a mandatory columns and which always that should be visible to the user. So there is one property that we need to add in smart filter. Sorry, in smart table. So that property I'm just going to add here. You can add initially visible fields. And here you can add that property names like customer ID, comma, you can give company name, comma, and you can give city. So these are the actual properties. OK, so now if we add that, let's see what is the output we are getting now. See, are we getting all these three columns? And on top of that, data is also loading. How the data is loading? Because of we have declared one property here, enable auto binding, right? So let's say if we say false, what will happen? Let's see the output. See, is data coming now? No, data is not coming. So because of that, we need to make this enable auto binding as a true. So once we make it as a true, so by default, the columns will be created based on initially visible fields. And based on this enable auto binding, the data is also fetched at the same time with that default columns. OK, so I think so our basic flow is done for this. Now next thing is we just have to design a smart form. OK, so now you can do anything, whatever you want to do here. You can also add multiple columns by selecting here. See, you can add more columns here. See, more columns will be added. And at the same time, let's say you want to sort the data. That is also possible. Let's say you want to sort the data based on customer ID. So you can just make it as ascending and press OK. So data will be sorted out based on ascending. See? So you can also add a filters. So value, let's say the city and all, everything you can do here. Whatever the filter you want to add, you can just press, you can select that filter and you can add that and you can press OK. So once you press OK, that data, this will bring only that data. OK, fine. Is this clear? Any questions here, Pawan?
This column sort filter group, this will come automatically, right? Way.
Yes, yes, automatically. It will come automatically. We don't need to write any code for that. But only the important point is on the top, this is the filter bar. So whatever you're entering, and let's say you want that information to be available within this, means it should filter out. This filters, it should filter out the data within this table. So for that, we need to add this smart filter ID. So we have to provide an ID of smart filter bar. Then only the smart filter bar and the smart table will be linked. OK, then only the both will be it will be connected with each other. If not, then your data will not be filtered out. So this is very important property. If you want to make a connection between the smart filter bar and smart table, so we need to add this property. OK. So now let's do one thing. Now let's create one more page. And once user is clicking on this selection, right? So we will take a user to next page. And there we will design a smart form where we can display the data, selected record information in the next column. Sorry, in the next page. OK. So now what we need to do now, we just need to design a smart form here. OK, so for designing a smart form, what we need, first of all, we need a different view now. So there comes our routing and navigation concept. Why this error is coming? OK, so now let me create one more view file here quickly. New. So I'll write detail page. Add it as detail. Yeah, OK, I'm just adding as a detail. So now here in this, you can just copy the content and you can paste here. So here we don't need this. You can remove all that. OK. And then for sure, we need a controller of detail only. And after all, we don't need this filter bar. We need a smart form. So we don't need this. So let me search for smart form here. OK, so this is the library of smart form. So let's add that. This you can copy here. OK, that's it. So now we have a smart form. Again, so now we can design the smart form. So before that, let's do other things. Like we need, first of all, whichever record user is clicking. So that record information we need to pass. OK, so I think I have to create a controller also. OK, I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. And now we can change here like a detail. That's it. Here, detail is already changed. So OK, so now we have added one event, handle selection change. So for this event, we'll declare one method. Table is there, we just need to pass that information to that view, the next view that we will create. So let me go to component.js and here I'm just going to add one more route. OK, so that route name should be detail And for that detail, sorry, we will pass one property as customer ID. Okay. And here you can just mention target as target detail. After that, you can copy this, give comma and just paste. Just add target detail. Okay. And here you can add it as detail. Detail. That's it. So the configuration is done now. So basic, whatever the information we want to pass, everything is there now available. So now we just need to add that method. So first of all, we need to get that context, O context. So I think that you can get it by O event. So we can run this on browser. Wait. So let me run this first of all. OK, so now we'll just click on inspect and let's go to sources and let's put a breakpoint within that method. OK, so let's click on the record. Let's say I'm clicking on the second one. So we need to get that customer ID. So that customer ID information, we can get it from here in O event. Let's see in M parameters whether we have that or not. See, we can. OK, we have that information. Within this list item, you will see one binding context. OK, see under this binding context, we have that path. So from here, we will get that ID. So let's write O event dot get source dot get binding. Sorry, we need to write get parameter, and here we need to pass that list item. And after that, you can write get binding context dot get object. If you say get object, we will directly receive that object. OK, so in get object, this is what we have. But let's say if you're writing get path, so you'll get the actual path. OK, this is the path. But we don't need a path. We just need that object. Sorry, we just need that customer ID. So we'll pass this customer ID to next view, that is a detail view. And then from there, with the help of bind element, we'll get the context from that. OK, so let me copy this information. Okay, so after that, we will write here. So first of what we need to write here, we need to get the router. So router, how you can get it from UI component. OK, so here in component, you can go and you can just copy that. Go back to your app control. SAPUI component dot get router for this. And after that, you can write O router dot nav to. And here you can provide a name of that route, that is a detail. And after that, you can pass a parameter. So what parameter we have defined within that manifest? Customer ID. So for this customer ID, we will pass that parameter. And that value should be O context dot customer ID after all, right? So this is the customer ID which we want. O context dot customer ID. That's it. That's it, guys. So if you pass this information, so that information will be that information will be available to the detail view going forward. So now within this, okay, let's see now this is working or not, that we need to see now. So at least we should be able to see a customer ID in this URL once we click on any record. OK, let me click on the second. So this ID, it should appear in this URL. OK, can you see now? It's coming. And it is also navigated to this detail view. without any problem. So now let's write a code here. So we'll declare that customer information. And first of all, let's write a code here within a detail view. So what code we need to write? Same that first of all, we need to get that router information. So this same code you can write here as well. And you can write o router dot get route. And in get route, you can pass detail. And after that, you can write dot attach pattern match. And in attach pattern match, you can pass this dot underscore on route match. And after that, you can pass this. And then we need to call that method on, sorry, route match function. And here is your O event. Okay, so give a comma here. Now here we just need to get that customer ID. So we'll write customer ID equal to O event dot get parameters, and inside that you can pass arguments. Arguments dot the customer ID. That's it. Okay, so once you write this code, now let's see. First of all, let's execute that code now. Okay, we'll go to so I think it failed here. Okay, let's reload now 1 second. Already now it will take you to detail view, because on the top, if you say already the detail, the name of that detail pattern is there, and apart from that, the parameter information is there. So router is there. So we need to write o router dot get route. And here, if let's say if you're passing detail, okay, after that dot, sorry, attach pattern match. So this is the function. Okay, I think this is written there. Attach pattern matched. I think it is right only. Okay, sorry, the spelling was different. Okay, fine. So I think this should work now. Okay, fine. So now what it will do automatically, it will trigger this because we are matching with that route, and it will directly take you to this on route match. See, and now let's see how we can get that information, that customer ID. So you can get that information from here, oEvent.get. See, if you look at the Go oEvent, so that information will be available within the M parameters, and within that M parameters, we will have arguments. And inside the arguments, you will have that customer ID, which is this. Okay, so how to get that information? So you can get that information oEvent.get parameter. And inside this get parameter, you can pass arguments and dot customer ID. That's it. So that only the code we have written. Okay, see, it's the same code.